Such a gathering of them together, but quite to the point of surprise at the moment. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the still empty main seat of the round table. Look at the seat that belonged to the king of the labyrinth, Veldora, and to the great Ramiris who created it. 2 hours had passed since they had been summoned. It was all still noisy just now, and Beretta's presence silenced everyone. In a short time, Lord Veldora and Lady Ramiris will be visiting. Everyone has to wait quietly. With that said, Beretta sat down in his seat. Chief, may I ask a question? Beretta nodded when he heard Nine-Tailed Kumar ask that. This time we'll be here because you should all have guessed that some fools have invaded this maze, and the purpose of this time is to consult with everyone to see how to defeat them. Upon hearing this, everyone shut up. They've all heard about the current situation, too. What would it mean to make an enemy of the labyrinth? To make sure those people understand that, let's all work together, that was their mindset. The scene is filled with breathless tension, followed by Yahohoho. Everyone, welcome to the party. The atmosphere in the hall heated up in one breath because of the relationship between Ramiris and Veldora's debut. Seeing such an atmosphere, Ramiris was happy and addressed the group in a serious tone that she wouldn't normally have. We haven't had a crisis of this magnitude since the opening of this maze. That's why I want to hear from everyone. As soon as this was said, everyone started meeting. The first person to react was the Nine-Tailed Kumar. Gee, that goes without saying. It seemed that she had been waiting for this moment for a long time, and was about to say what she thought when Apido snatched up the conversation. Just shoot to kill. Kumar began to glare at Apido with each other. You've got a chance to appear on my floor this time, haven't you? Apido and those paladins should be playing satisfied these days, right? What's that supposed to mean? If it's not Asama, it's not bad. A paladin is too weak to be an opponent, but it makes me feel even more bored. There was another wave of tension in the venue. I didn't think it would be Veldora who came out to play around up. Kahahaha. Everyone, stop arguing. And everyone can rest assured. This time there's a chance to prepare everyone for the battle on the field. According to what I've heard, the guys seem to think the maze is only 60 levels at most. Despite our outward propaganda that the maze has 100 layers, they don't believe it. Do people think it's okay to be so stupid? Everyone was like, no. Veldora also nodded. It's fun to make a scene with them, but it's a pain in the ass. Yes, that's it. Just like Master had just said, waiting for them to attack to the 50th level was really troublesome. Not only is it troublesome for us, but for each other as well. There are about 700,000 people crowded out there right now. Remure wants us to lure as many people as possible into the labyrinth. If they're all crammed in by the entrance, it'll take time, won't it? The sheer number of enemies is also a problem. So we intend to distribute the enemy forces separately from the beginning, sending 1,000 men to each floor. If you're lucky enough to draw straws, you might be able to run into some serious enemies. Ho ho ho. Maybe there was someone inside who would threaten Rimure's life, the same guy Remure was looking for. But that might be his over-worrying, but then again, just finding out who this person is would be a big help. Everyone's eyes changed when they heard Ramiris say that to Veldora. To be one of the 4 heavenly kings under Remure, that was a vision for the men in charge of the maze. One of them, Remure, is also Remure's right-hand man and is his best friend. People want to go up against him one day and see. No, his best friend is me, that's what Veldora would think. But everyone didn't let that out of their mouths, and the live conversation went smoothly. That means, everyone has a chance, right? If that's the case, I'm fine with that. As soon as he heard this, Apido and Kumar instantly showed signs of reconciliation. Others have their own ambitions in mind, and everyone is full of fighting spirit. So if someone comes into their own dominion, we can all do as we please. Hearing Adalman ask that, Ramiris nodded sharply and said, that's it. This became the key message, and the members of the maze became more serious again. Ramiris went on to explain. They're also invading one by one at the moment, so all in all we'll put them in order starting with the 40th floor. Whenever the number reaches 1,000, drop down a floor and follow this pace. Gozu and the others will assign other tasks and explain later. The jealous eyes of everyone on the scene were focused on Gozu and Mezu, causing those two to tremble with nervousness. Their bodies shrank even more than just now, desperately trying to pass. Also not bothering with such a Gozu and the others, Ramiris continued to illustrate. That's about it, we're going to skillfully disperse the enemy on all floors. The last 40 to 50 tiers would be 100,000 people. The 51st to 60th floor is also 100,000 people. 61 to 70 layers of 100,000. 71 floors to 80 floors and 100,000, 81 levels to 90, 100,000. And then probably let each Dragon King deal with 10,000 people. If someone still keeps breaking in, it will divide them up to the upper floors. The maximum number of people accepted at one time was targeted at 540,000. Ramiris said she wanted a minimum of 350,000 as well. Finally she would address the most important matters. One more thing not to be forgotten, and only this time, we are going to change the rules inside the maze. Each room with dragons will expand to 10 times the normal size, and we'll also let the floors swap and fall into the room with dragons as soon as we break through the 90th floor. But that's not the point. The real point is that the conditions for breaking the barrier change. Ramiris flapped her wings and flew round one side for emphasis. Hearing this, a satisfied expression appeared on all 10 of their faces. The dragon kings in the four corners of the hall chattered in small voices. The group seemed to be full of energy in the face of the upcoming battle. Faced with such a labyrinth of 10 masters, the chief Beretta, identified as the chief of the 10 lords of the labyrinth, opened his mouth. By the way, Lord Ramiris, it's been a matter of asking you before. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Rimuru allowed it too, let's observe it this time. Thank you. So. After conferring with Ramiris over something, Beretta stood up and looked around the labyrinth lords. Ladies and gentlemen, Lord Ramiris has assigned me the role of labyrinth coordinator. I'm also labyrinth lord, but Beretta personally felt that becoming chief of the 10 lords of the labyrinth was just a side hustle. It takes 10 people to put together a good sounding name, so Beretta joined the 10 just to put together the numbers. Now the opportunity he had been waiting for had finally come. I want to cede my place to the man who made the war. The labyrinth lord's eyes seemed to light up for a moment, and all their eyes changed. As for my share in this war as a labyrinth lord, I will leave it to His Excellency Gadra over there for the time being. He has been recommended by Lord Adalman as having considerable strength, and his knowledge is recognized not only by me, but also by Lady Ramiris. Gadra, who was suddenly named, was surprised but unfazed. He hadn't lived this long and was used to such scenes. Here we go. The time of this old man has come. If I had taken advantage of this opportunity to make a splash, I wouldn't be a temporary replacement. And Gadra was also well aware of his own abilities, relying on his accurate vision to see through the 10 lords of the labyrinth. Some of them were not as good as themselves, or not on a par with him, and there were even some masters among the 10 lords of the labyrinth who were not comparable to him. Well, then, I'll take that as a compliment. Will you take it? That does me a favor, Sir Gadra. Just at this moment, Gadra and Beretta agreed on what was at stake. Gadra was willing to accept, and I was happy. Ask Gadra to take charge of the 60 floors. You will do well to enslave the Colossus, the floor guardian Colossus. Things were quickly finalized. In this regard too, Ramiris had talked to Rimuru, and they had long since decided to try Gadra. Gadra was usually there to assist in the research work of Ramiris, so he agreed without a second word. The other party was willing to send him the floor guardian statue, which was a great request from his point of view. In that case, let's get a nickname for Gadra, too. Ah, that's right, Gadra. Do you have a nickname you want? Suddenly being asked so, Gadra was at a loss for a moment as to how to react. This. Gadra personally doesn't think that's very important. Frustrating. His Majesty Rudra was already very good, and these people were no match for him. No, since the other party is a storm dragon and a labyrinth fairy, that's a natural reaction too. Gadra was impressed. Should we name him the Magic Guide? Master, I think that sounds cool. Right. I'm cool when I'm supposed to be cool. Kahahaha. Thought it was all largely explained, he didn't realize that it seemed like there was something else Ramiris had to say. That's right, I remember. Gozu and Mezu also have important missions. Hearing that, being nervous about not knowing what kind of task they would be assigned, Gozu the whole of them jumped up. So, then, what are we responsible for? What's the best thing to do? The two men inquired tremulously. Not taking such a reaction to heart, Ramiris ordered it. Go to the 30th floor and stand by so that you can summon the monsters of the passers-by over there. If anyone escapes, get rid of them. The location of the resurrection with the bracelet is also arranged on the 30th floor, so it's okay to accidentally kill the wrong person. You've got to work hard. She sounded like she could do it as if it was a matter of course. Gozu and Mezu too could only accept it. It's not that they don't want to do it, it's that the unease in their hearts is greater. In that light, the responsibility they have taken on in this mission is actually very light. And they find that the more people they lose to themselves, the more people they can kill. And just like that, the task for each person to take on was set. Remure asked us to bring as many Imperial soldiers into the maze as possible. In order for that to happen, we have to give our opponents some sort of sweet treat. The group listened and nodded forcefully, indicating that they understood. Everyone is clear about their responsibilities. At least on the first day they plan to quietly watch the enemy's movements. Ramiris originally looked at everyone with satisfaction, but she finally dropped a shock bomb. Very good. Then everyone, come on. By the way, Remure said he would be watching the battle as well. Not only is this a way to judge who should be Labyrinth Chief, it's also a chance for him to see how you all behave. The moment those words came out of Ramiris's mouth, everyone's expression suddenly turned serious to the point of being full of killing awe. You say Lord Rimuru will watch us? Zijin had originally been silent, and now even he spoke up. This surprised Apido. Aside from his allegiance to the demon Lord Remure, the only thing that interests him is to become stronger. Zijin is one such person. Well, Remure said he'd watch it too. Stammering in response, Ramiris was caught off guard by her opponent's airs. After all, even Ramiris didn't get much of a chance to watch Zijin speak, and would be surprised quite normally. Oh Zijin, what Ramiris said is true. Remure was also intrigued by the strength of the maze members. That's why I chose to trust you and decided to let you take on the heavy responsibility of this battle. Like looking for the steps down for the astonished Ramiris, Veldora so stated. For Veldora, Zijin was an excellent apprentice to the combat training he had implemented since before. He's also a great player who has a long history of friendship with Veldora. Not only that, but depending on the conditions, he even grew to the point where he could fight Veldora to the point of being above even odds. Zijin was too powerful. To ask if there was anyone in the maze who could be Zijin's opponent, there was no one else but Veldora. Just because Zijin was such a master, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity was all the more exciting for him. Yeah. Lord Remure will be watching to see how we and others fare. It really gets my blood pumping. Let the adults see how much I've grown, and I'll show it all. Hey, that's a must. He says he's looking forward to it, so people are going to surprise him. With a smile of innocence, Ramiris ended with these words. Next, the soldiers of the Empire's generals will understand. They will witness the true gesture of this maze. Taste the fear. We are going to win. Dedicate the victory to Lord Remure. Zijin read the words and rose from his seat. It became a signal that everyone was out in force. In order to get to the venue that had become hell, they'll wait for the guests to arrive.